welcome back everybody. Now that we have our LiveBinder all set up and ready for whatever we choose to do with it, let's just talk about some basic design elements. This is the fun part, and usually the first video and the first half of this video is what I do in a class period, and I give my kids the rest of the time to just play around because there's a lot of different settings that you can use to make this a lot more visually interesting. You'll notice the default is a white background with dark blue tabs, and it's pretty boring. I think some of that's actually gray, but I don't know. It depends on the brightness of your monitor. Let me turn that down a little bit. Yeah. It's just pretty boring. So let's go and look at some of the ways that you can make this a little bit more appealing. So if you go with me back to the settings tab again, it's the same place we went before, where we had where we have our name of our binder, and then we did access, and you know, teacher's name is still down here. But we don't want to do access. We're going to look at colors, layout, and cover. Okay? So, the first thing we're going to look at is colors. When you click on colors, then it allows you to change the background color, the tab color, which, let me move this out of the way. This is the tab color, which is set to dark blue right now. Sub-tab color, which we'll get to in a little while. It's the tabs that will go underneath, the little sub-tabs that will go underneath these guys. And then the base tab color. So let's just play around a little bit, and let's start with set background color. So if you click on this, it really does look like, I don't know, maybe it is. It's not quite white. It's not quite solid white. It's really supposed to be gray. But let's do this. So this is like an Overton color, so I'm going to hit and you can click around for the different shades of the color you're looking at. So I'm going to get it to a good deep red, and I click OK, and my background is now a deep red Johnny Overton color. So maybe try that with your, and of course now you can change these over and over and over again. And that's why I give my kids probably 20 minutes to mess with this stuff at the end of the first class period where we do this. So you can just change it up. You can go crazy. You can do whatever you want. If you're looking for more of a blue, let's say you're more of a blue person, pick you a nice blue that you like. There you go. So you can just go around the world with this. However you want to do it, it's going to work for you. So I'm going to go back to up here. You know, you can go down here and click on the orange color, the greens, the teals. I'm going to go back up here to the reds, get my red color back. Okay. I am a bobcat after all. Gotta stick with the red. Now, the tabs, I don't like the way the blue looks with the red. Maybe you do. Maybe you would leave it, but that's okay. Everybody gets to choose their own thing. It's wonderful. So I'm going to go back to the red again, but I'm going to go more in the gray area of red, or maybe a dark brown, maybe something like that. And so see, now my tabs are a different color than they were. See that? Maybe you want more of a contrast. I have kids that do pastels and bright neons, and it's completely and totally up to you. And again, it can be changed with no more than those clicks that I just showed you. Very, very simple to do. So feel free to play with that in a little bit. We're going to pause in a little bit, and you're going to have time to play with that. The next thing you can do is you can move the tabs around. So let's say that you think these tabs across the top are kind of boring, and you'd rather have them over here down the left side or over here on the right. I can show you how to fix that, and that is stacked tabs is what it defaults to, which is these, because your little sub tabs will go underneath these. You can have scrolling tabs, which is going to put a little set of dots, and it can move it around for you. I'm going to show you how to preview it in just a second. You also can do side tabs. You can move them so that the tabs are on the left over here, and it shrinks this area by about this much. It cuts off about this much of the left, and it just shrinks everything up so that the tabs are on the left, or again on the right if you choose that. I'll show you some examples in just a few minutes. I'm going to go back to the default of stacked tabs for now. Now, here's what I do suggest everybody does right now. And your teacher you can change this later just by going to settings and layout. But LiveBinders defaults to none for both an overview tab and a table of contents. You can do an overview on the first or second tab if you'd like. You can do a table of contents or on the first or second tab. But the way we set them up in my class, I just would rather not have that. We are generally in my class the first tab is considered a cover page, and the student will find a piece of art, some sort of image from the web, and will download that image and then upload it into here to just display on this page. Now, as a teacher, you can play with this and have your students change that if you want them to. And then some of my students change it anyway because they like it, because they play with it and they figure out what it looks like and they decide that they want it instead of not want it. So I let them do that too. It's totally fine. It's completely individual choice. It's really more of a style choice. So let's go back here, and I'm going to put my side tabs on the left. I am going to put I don't like the overview tab, but I will put a table of contents, let's say, in the first tab. And then I'm going to go right over here. See, these options do not show in edit mode, and we are still in edit mode. So I'm going to hit preview, and it's going to pop up a new window, and it's going to show you what that looks like. So it starts with your table of contents, and then it goes to tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, and of course your sub-tabs will show up under here too. So it just depends on what you want. The reason that I'm not really crazy about the table of contents or the overview page is because I like for there to be imagery on the screen the minute you open the binder. And that is not possible on these table of contents pages. You can't edit any of this. You can't change the way it looks. It is what it is. And it's just not all that pretty to me. But hey, students can choose that if they like, and that is perfectly all right with me. You'll need to get with your teacher and discuss what they think about that. So now I'm going to take this back up here, and we are going to go to cover. Now, the cover image is the little tiny square like you saw with that sample binder that it gave you. You saw the little tiny square. The cover image is important because when you send this binder to someone, they're going to see that when you send that link, it's going to show up. The little cover is going to show up. It also is very, very helpful to your teacher, students, if you put an image on your cover, because your teacher is going to be looking at a screen full of binder covers. And if they all look like this with nothing on there, just solid gray, then it's very hard to sift through all the names. I find that I can go directly to a student's binder immediately without even thinking about it, because I learn what their chosen imagery is. So I can show you what that looks like in my regular LiveBinders account in just a minute. But the way that you do this is that you want to go out on the web, you want to find an image, and then you want to save it to your computer, and then you're going to upload it. That's just the easiest way to do it. I know that there are other options over here, but they are terrible. It's just terrible. It's so much easier to just go find one and save it and then upload it. So we're going to be doing a lot of that with LiveBinders. You're going to download something to your computer, and then you're going to upload it back into the right place in LiveBinders. It's just easier. So you'll go up to on your browser right now and open up a new tab. There's some sort of plus sign up there. You're just going to go to a new tab, and you're going to type in a search phrase for something that, you know, makes sense to you. A lot of people use Overton. They use the college they're planning to go to. They use maybe something related to the topic that they've chosen for Capstone that they did their research on. It could be just about anything. Some people just put a picture of themselves on there. You can be anything you want it to be. Try not to make it anything gross that like a school administrator or a potential employer would think was awful. But you can just type that in and then hit your images, you know, on whatever your search engine is. Incidentally, for the record, this right here is Overton High School in Memphis. We are John Overton, so I should have probably put John Overton. At any rate, I'm going to use this picture here as an example because I want to show you what happens when you upload it to be a binder cover. If you remember, back over here, the cover itself is shaped in a square, right? Equal sides on all sides. This picture is a rectangle. The long sides are longer. The horizontal sides are longer than the vertical sides. So what happens is when you pick a photo like this one, it's going to crop out the edges, and it's going to only show the center of that photo, which I really don't mind with this photo because look, it's got kids and it's got John Overton High School, and I hate it for these kids over here and these kids over here, but it's going to give me what I need. So I'm going to right click and save that image. Overton Cambridge class. Okay. So I'm going to save that image on my computer, and then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to upload it. So I hit upload. I'm going to hit choose file, and I'm going to go back to where that was. And it was Overton Cambridge something, wasn't it? Yep, there it is. There's the JPEG. See it? And I'm going to click open. And then I'm going to have to see, I clicked upload here and I chose my file. And now I'm going to have to hit upload again, the little gray upload. So you have to hit upload twice. And it gives you a little preview, and it shows you that it worked, and you can hit save. Even though it already saved, I always hit save again. And so now I have a cover. Okay, so now it's time for you to practice and choose and mess around with colors, layout, and cover photo. Now, you can pause the video, and I'm going to keep moving and show you how to go back and look at what you've done and look at what it looks like. And then I'll show you how to come back to edit mode so we can continue the video and create some tabs and some subtabs. Okay. Now, you've played around. I hope you've chosen some stuff and you've got some sort of color on here because, I mean, nobody wants to look at a white screen. It's so boring. So now, let's go back and preview what it looks like to somebody who's not editing, because that's where you are now. See, in edit mode with all this stuff available up here. Let's go back and look at what it looks like to just a stranger who might be looking at it, that you might have sent it to. So this is where we start using these buttons in light gray. We're going to click on My Binders. My Binders will take you right back to your home screen. So we're going to click on My Binders. It will save it automatically. And now look, there's that tutorial they started you with. See, it has a cover photo too. And now here is my new binder. And it's got my picture on it. Teachers, notice that this is marked new with a little explosion icon. That yellow icon will be on anytime a student edits their LiveBinder, it will move it to the front of your class list, and it will have that icon so that you know which ones you need to look at that have added material, and it's very convenient. I really love that feature. Now, if you hover your mouse, don't click, but hover. If you hover the mouse over your Capstone binder, you'll see that you can either open or edit. Now, if you want to work on your binder, you have to open it in edit mode. But if you want to just look at it, you hit open. Now, this is the view that someone else would see if they were looking at my binder. See, this is why you put a cover photo, because it shows up in the table of contents. And this is also why I don't really like the table of contents, because I'm not crazy about it. I don't like the layout. But anyway, if you do, that's great. And then you can hit tab 1, and there's your tabs on the left-hand side of your screen instead of at the top. Yours might be at the top right now, but this is what other people will see when they log into your binder, okay? Now, let's hit the back button and go back to your home screen. And now if you want to edit some more, you can hover your mouse and hit edit. And now you're back in edit mode. Yes? So now you're editing again. One more time. Let's click back here on My Binders and go to your home screen. And let's go to your binder and just click open. Let's open it like anybody else might see it. And let's say you clicked open, or you clicked on the binder and you didn't mean to, and you really want to edit, but you don't want to go back again. Look right up here, right next to your name, like right next to your username, is this little tiny folder with a pencil on it. And what does that say? Edit this binder. If you click that little pencil, you're right back in edit mode. So there's 2 ways to go to edit mode, and that's from the home screen or with the pencil. Either way, doesn't matter. It all works the same. So you should be pretty expert by now in navigating the LiveBinders frames. And so what we're going to do now is set up the tabs and the subtabs according to how I do it in my class. Now, this does not mean, teachers, this does not mean you have to do this the same exact way that I do, but if you are using all of the material from the virtual class stuff that Jason and I have put up, then you might want to just go ahead and set it up this way. It'll just be easier for you in the long run. If you want to add or subtract things, feel free, because by the time you've used this for a little while, you can pretty easily show your kids how to that they need a new tab or a new sub-tab, or to get rid of one, or whatever it is that you want to do. But in order to demo for students, I'm just going to show you how mine are set up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add another tab, because my class is set up with 4 main tabs and lots of sub-tabs underneath them. So we have tab 1, we have tab 2, and we have tab 3, as you can see. Now, your best friend when setting up a LiveBinder and all of the documents that you want to put in it is this little happy red arrow. If you click on the red arrow, you will get a submenu of all kinds of things that you can do in order to add, subtract, move, or rename all kinds of things. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add a new tab, because I want another tab. I need 4 of them and I only have 3. So students, we're going to click add new tab, and for now I'm just going to call it tab 4. And once you've done that, now you've got the 4 tabs that you need. Let's go back to the happy red arrow again. You can add sub-tabs under each tab. You can copy and paste them if you want. You can copy to another binder, which isn't really very useful because we only work in one binder at a time, most of us. If you had a document that was loaded into this tab, you could clear that document out just by clicking here, clear the contents, and it takes it back to empty. You can delete a tab. You can move one left, move one right, and there are other move options as well. And also you can set individual tab colors. It was really funny. I had a kid once who did her research on Google, just the history of the company, and she had it, the color scheme and everything all set up, and then the 4 tabs were all the 4 main Google colors that are in the logo. It was really cute. So if you don't want this menu anymore and you don't want to do anything else, you can just hit close. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and forth between my Chrome browser, which I'm in now, and my Safari, on which I have loaded up my sample binder. Teachers, I can't recommend enough that you set up a binder that and then post a link to it so that kids can look at the tabs and subtabs and what is supposed to be here. This is what's supposed to be on each tab and each binder. So my first tab is cover page, and you'll notice there are no subtabs under it. There's nothing else to it. It's just a cover page. So we're going to go back to Chrome and tab 1. We're going to click on that. And then if you click again, it highlights the text so you can change it. And we're going to type cover page. So the first tab will be the cover page. No worries. Video number 3 will show you how to upload all of these things like these images and documents into these tabs. So back to Safari. We have 3 more tabs: research, reflection, and professional. So I'm going to go back over here to my Chrome, to my new LiveBinder, and we're going to say tab number 2 becomes research. Tab number 3 becomes reflection. And tab number 4 becomes professional. Feel free to pause and go ahead and name and type in the names of all 4 of those tabs. Please be sure to capitalize each word in each label of the tabs and subtabs, because professionalism demands that labels be capitalized. All right, so pause and then we'll move on to subtabs. Okay, like I said, the cover page does not have any subtabs. There's only going to be some stuff on it, and I'm going to show you how to set that up in just a few in the 3rd video. The research tab, we're going to click on that because we are going to add some subtabs underneath the research tab. So back to my other browser. I'm going to click on the research tab, and you see 2 subtabs: research paper and experience hours. Don't worry about this image right now. It's not important. We'll get to that in the next video, I promise. So the research paper and the experience hours need to be added over here. So we're going to come back to my research tab, and we're going to add 2 subtabs. So click the happy red arrow, add new subtab, happy red arrow again, add new subtab. So this is research paper, and the second one will be experience hours. A side note to teachers and students: clearly, in the era of coronavirus, experience hours are not something that we can do in the traditional way of students going into the community or into a workplace and learning something or experiencing their topic in some way. We have plenty of information on that for you guys and how to overcome that problem depending on the time that you feel like you've got left over at this point in the year. So it may be that you delete this sub-tab. It may be that there are other things. Jason has some really good ideas how students can get those hours in without going out into the community. But rest assured, no one expects students to go into the community during coronavirus. All right. So now we move on to reflection. And let's go back to Safari and see what reflection has. Reflection has 4 tabs. A first semester reflection. You might have more than this, teachers. You may be doing one each 9 weeks, or, well, each 4.5 weeks in our case. It may be that we change the names of these to more accurately fit the 4x4 semester. But in general, I do a reflection after the paper, my choice, and I do a reflection after students have presented. And this year, presentations are going to be different, so we may do a reflection after students have viewed presentations, even if they haven't done one live. So at any rate, we're just going to keep the labels the same for now, just to show you how to use LiveBinders, and you can relabel at will anytime you want to. These are not permanent. So first semester, second semester, your student's post-graduation plan, and photos. Oh, the photos are so much the most fun part of all of this. So we'll go back and we will add 4 subtabs. Add new subtab, new subtab. And there are 4. So we're going to call that first semester. Oops. No, that doesn't work, Newcomb. I'm sure that these labels will have to change. This will not work for me because it drives me crazy. All right, now I've forgotten. Let me go back. Post-grad plan and photos. There we go. Students, notice how I am capitalizing each word in each heading. Very important. It doesn't seem like it, but it is. Trust me when I tell you. Okay, finally, professional. The professional tab also has, 5 subtabs. A resume, what I call personal inventory. Teachers, students, that's the brag sheet. These are things you've already done. You just have to put them in here. It's really easy. 2 letters of recommendation, 1 on each tab. Students, I hope your teachers are getting them back to you. I know it's going to be hard this year, but I mean, we can get this done. I mean it. We really can. And then finally, a PDF copy of your PowerPoint that you are creating for your presentation. So, resume, inventory, rec, and presentation. Okay, so add new subtab. Oops, nope, not add new tab. I did that wrong. So I have to go back to my happy red arrow and delete. And yes, I want to delete it. Okay, add new subtab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to go back and look again. Resume, inventory. Okay, so the last one is senior presentation. The first one is resume. I hope your resumes are finalized and looking good. We'll just call this the brag sheet for you guys because that's how it's listed in the training materials. And then letter of recommendation times 2. See how that expands to accommodate your entire, see how it expands to accommodate the title. So now that's it. We have set up all the tabs and all the subtabs. Very, very easy. Again, teachers, please set up, create your own binder that is used for students to look at, and set up the tabs and subtabs however you wish to set them up. It's completely up to you. There's nothing written in stone about how I'm doing this. In fact, I'll have to change mine too this year when we get going, for sure. And you might have to cut some things if you're out of time, and that's okay too. We are all just trying to get through this with something to show for it. That's the goal. Have something worth having to show for it. So now, before we move on to the advanced stuff in video 3, let's just go back here to My Binders, and let's click, go back to the binder, and then let's just go to the open mode where it's in play mode so you can see what they look like. And now, again, because I moved my tabs to the left, see, you have your cover page, which we will decorate, I promise. You have your research and your subtabs. You have reflection and your subtabs. And you have professional. There you go. That is what it's supposed to look like. And then we can go right back to this little pencil up at the top, and we're right back in edit mode, and we can keep on working. All right, so you guys practice that. Please don't hesitate. Teachers, if your students are having trouble, text me, email me, let me know, and I'm absolutely more than willing to help whatever I can do. All right, we'll see you guys back for video 3, Advanced Technique.